All right, this is periodic table, name the elements. 15 minutes to name all 118 elements of the periodic table. I'm good at this one, but there's a good chance I'm gonna not remember 8 or 10 of them. So here we go. And this is one where you got to type them in. So I'd like to challenge myself to go in order, but I can't get very far going in order. So we'll see. Hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium. There's 2 B's back to back, beryllium and boron. That's nice to get started. And then there's some very common elements across the top here with carbon, nitrogen, oxygen. Oxygen, which you need in order to live, and fluorine, which will kill you in a few seconds. Neon, and then my favorite element, sodium. Big salt fan. And then comes, see, I'm already a little stuck here. I'm going to say magnesium. And then aluminum. And then if you're a science fiction fan, you know that people write stories about silicon-based life instead of carbon-based life. So that slots in right underneath that. Phosphorus under nitrogen, and sulfur under oxygen, and chlorine. That'll kill you too. And then argon. And under sodium is potassium. And under magnesium is calcium. Here's where I start to lose it. So for some reasons, I remember that scandium is next. There's a lot of geographically named elements, and there's some kind of site in Sweden or something like that where there's a lot of ores where they found a lot of elements. So there's a lot of Scandinavian related words in the periodic table. 22, I think, is titanium. 23, I always forget. So we will have to come back to that. So that's my first miss in order. Molybdenum, I think, is 24 or 25? 20, oh. So manganese is what I was thinking. That's 25. Iron's 26. Chromium, maybe 27. Oh, 24. Oh, I think it's vanadium is 23. There we go. Some other common metals, but I don't know what order they come in. Cobalt, nickel, copper, zinc. Yeah. All right, so if I got my act together, I would have got those in order. I want to say gallium is next. I think that's named after Gaul, which is the old name for France. And then germanium, which sounds like a flower, I'm pretty sure is just named for Germany. Definitely not going to be able to go in order anymore. So I'm going to skip to some that I know. So under chlorine is it iodine? No, I think it's bromine. And then under argon is krypton. Under potassium is rubidium. Rubidium, maybe? Yeah. I think that's named after the color red. There's quite a few elements that are named after colors, too. Sometimes when I get stuck, I say, okay, what's the ones named after geography? What's the ones named after scientists? What's the ones named after colors? And that gets you pretty far. I don't know what's under calcium. Barium, I think, is 56, or maybe even, yeah, okay. So that's a little further down. Yttrium, I'm pretty sure is a place in Sweden where they dig up ores, but I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that. Zirconium, I think, is 40. Tungsten might be heavier, but I'm going to try tungsten. It's heavier. And 43 is technetium, which is named because it was created in the lab. It's the lowest atomic numbered element that's radioactive, and so it has a half-life, and there's not much of it around. And I don't know what's under iron. I don't know what's under cobalt. Nickel, I think, is palladium is under nickel, and then platinum is under palladium. I think these are like inert metals or catalyst metals, all of them. Copper is like, Dungeons and Dragons. You got your copper pieces, you got your silver pieces, and you got your gold pieces. So they're all in a row, in a column. And then there's all the ones under zinc are common words. Mercury is 80. 48 I don't remember, but we'll get it, I'm pretty sure. So over here there's like these transition metals and these non-metals, and I don't know what order they come in, but I've been burned by forgetting tin before, and antimony, which are right next to one another. And then I know lead. I've forgotten lead before. You get in this roll of the eums, and you forget the ones that were known to the ancients and so have very simple names. Polonium is also over here somewhere, which is named after Poland. And arsenic is over here somewhere. Okay. I'm pretty sure tellurium is over here somewhere, which always makes me think of the Tellurides of Star Trek, the little bearded guys that look like dwarfs, like D&D dwarfs. All right, bromine goes to iodine. And then under krypton is xenon, and under xenon is radon. And I can't force myself to learn 118. I keep trying. Oganesson? Oh, this could be a special run. I butcher that one every time, so that's good. All right, so let's start. Let's get a couple more easy ones. So lanthanum and actinium, they give you pretty much by these names over here. And for some reason, I do better on the bottom row than I do on the top row, because I tend to remember thorium. And I'm going to say protactinium is next. I could be wrong about that, but I'm not wrong. And then there's a few elements named after astronomical things, like Uranus. So uranium, and then neptunium, and then plutonium are named after Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. And of course, what's more out there than Pluto? Berkeley and California. I think those get named because in Berkeley, probably at Cal, I guess, they discovered a lot of elements, synthesized a lot of elements. So americium for America. 96, I don't remember what fills the gap between America and Berkeley. Those are kind of separate things, aren't they? So anyway, there's one more, there's two more actually. There's two more elements that are named after, actually three, because helium's named for the sun, selenium is named for the moon, and cerium is named for the asteroid Ceres, because it was discovered around the same time as the element. I think that's also the story of Neptunium. And whenever I put in the cerium, I remember cesium, which is over here under the alkali metals. And I'm pretty sure radium is the, oh, is radium's, okay, not the last one. Francium, maybe, is the last. So that's another geography one. Francium, gallium, germanium, polonium, and there's others. I guess we might as well do some other geography ones. I think oganesson might be geographical. I'm not sure. Nihonium is named for Japan. Tennessine is named for Tennessee, I think because of the Oak Ridge Laboratory. Moscovium. I don't know if Sumerium is a place. It's a biblical place, right? I think. Any other places? Europium for Europe. There may be some others. But I'm not sure. You'd think there's something between Moscow and Tennessee, though. 116. But I'm not sure. I'm going to put in fluorovium just because it popped into my head, and that's another laboratory. And I'm going to put in livermorium. I think that's a laboratory. Lawrence Livermore Laboratory, something like that. I don't know for sure. Okay, then there's some that are named after scientists, people like Lise Meitner, Meitnerium, and Niels Bohr, Bohrium, and Marie Curie, Curium, and Einstein, and Copernicus, Copernicum, good. Nobel, Alfred Nobel, Mendeleev, periodic table guy, Rutherford, having trouble spelling today, Röntgen. Seaborg was a guy who discovered a lot of the these elements down here. Fermi. There's something called Lawrencium. I don't know if that's a person. I really got to pick up the pace. Talking too much. Okay. And then there's a lot of elements named for the Earth, like terbium and erbium and ytterbium and tellurium. Then there's, like I said, there's a lot of T ones, like tellurium, which we already have, and thallium, and thulium. Thorium we already have. Tellurium we already have. Then there's some Greek, some like gods, like niobium, or at least, mythological people, tantalum, promethium. Then there's dysprosium, Darmstadtium, that's another place name. Neodymium, praseodymium, okay, rhenium, rhodium. Iridium is named for the rainbow. And that always makes me think of which one. Oh, there's another I, indium, which might be named for a color. It might be named for India. I'm not sure. Did we get strontium yet? Barium. It feels like there's another B. Cadmium. Got chromium, gadolinium. Put that in your MRI sometime. They inject you with a gadolinium. Contrast agent, lutetium. Hafnium. Hassium. That might be another person. Holmium, that's another person. Going by letters now. Okay. Barium, boron, bismuth. That's probably 85, 83. 44 and so osmium. 44, 105, probably a person. Oh, I only need 3. Oh, so close. Talk too much. So we missed ruthenium, dubnium. I had that in my head and didn't write it down fast enough, and astatine. All right. So we got a little improving to do, but otherwise, pretty good.